Okay, yeah, I'd say about 82-ish then, yeah. I don't know, I can't remember back that far. It's a long time ago.
I knew of one guy that broke his neck doing a windmill back in the day. I think proper training is best rather than to try something that, not doing something because you want to. If one of your crew members is good at something, well, let them be good at that, and rather you try something else and be good at that, because that's what brings the crew together, different strengths and different moves.
The members of Jedi swole to 15 people after we had a battle with Fusion Crew. And we had that battle in a big club in Tottenham. It used to be opposite Tottenham police station. And we never lost the battle, but the crowd wasn't on our side, and certain members were a bit, didn't really judge themselves, and really wasn't confident on what they think how they performed. When I personally think we won the first battle, but they just had more numbers. So certain people said, oh, we should have more people in the crew, and then we ended up with 15 people, and then we go to practice, and then all those other 15 people are practicing, and there's no room for us. So we said, look, man, we got to trim it right back down to the original people, and that's what happened.
At the time when we was breaking, we was a power move was a windmill, a halo, and a pop out. A windmill going up to a head spin. A flare going into a windmill, going into a halo, and spinning and coming into a handstand.
Yeah. Give us a bit of understanding about that.
Exchange of the tapes.
Yeah,
I did it for. Yeah.
They had Wild Style or whatever, and you had
Yeah, because what we were saying, like Tony Hudson would come back from the States. And we used to go around his house. He had the VHR, or was it the Betamax? We used to sit there and try and do the rewind, and watch the backspin, trying to break it down. You remember that in his house, innit?
Yeah.
So I think we had a tape and they had a tape, but two different tapes. And in order for everyone to progress, we had to have a truce. In order for everyone to survive and move forward. So I can't remember the whole thing behind it, but I heard them talking about it. But it was true. We had a tape and they had a tape.
Yeah, that's true. It was true.
There was a nice exchange. And like I said, I live near the top of Upland. They were at the bottom there, but I was more up on the Chettle Court side there. So,
that's where I was, Chettle Court, the top of Upland Road.
And because you remember them days, you couldn't edit tapes and chop up tapes. So I don't know about that one. I don't want to start up no friction.
No. Do you know what? I can't remember the full account.
I tell you, right? No, it could have been, right? Because Tony Hudson, we had Tony Hudson. He was very strategic, innit?
He was.
He was very strategic.
He was. Tony was.
Yeah,
Tony was.
Give them a little bit and keep the rest for ourselves.
Tony, that's why I can't dismiss it.
Yeah, right.
We can't dismiss it. It could be true.
Because he was like the man behind us.
Yeah.
And when you connect the moves, you do it in such a flow. It just looks so powerful.
I think that I started roughly 83. You know what? We started roughly, I know, from when Franklin could really do cracking, no, that's not right. Hold on. Yeah, maybe about 83 as well. About 83.
We was called the Hard Rock Breakers. And then we made a transition to the Jedi's crew. Mainly we were the Jedi's crew. Do you know what I mean? But then we were the Hard Rock Breakers at some point of that as well. Do you know what I mean? Because people around our neighborhood and our area, our community, they know us for what name we were. So it was sort of important to pick a good name, a strong name that could, stand up with our moves, what we was doing, and, the notoriety of it, or the notoriety. We picked the Jedis, I think, yeah. Okay. Saying that though, I came late in the crew. I did come late in the crew, so you know it was all like happening before I think. But I think I came in when it was Jedi's.
what I'd like to say on that, there is truth in that. So I'd have to say that because, like Warren was saying, one of our members, Tony Hudson, like he was the brainchild behind it. He was the one that got hold of the videos, and you got to remember, back then it's not like today, where you got a smartphone, bam. You can just go on your phone, download one of the latest videos, right there then, you can practice a move. Back then, you had to watch something at home, comfort of your home, and a VHS. Maybe you didn't have the room in your yard to practice, so you then have to go outside and practice, or a community centre or a club.
Remember all of that,
where you didn't necessarily have those resources. So you had to commit it to memory and then try it. So if you think about it, you'd have to have someone that is more technically minded. And that's where Tom Thumb was. Tony Hudson. He was the technician in the Breakazoids. Every crew, you must have had a technician. Someone that would tell you, no, you don't put you've got to put your hand there and put your elbow in under your weight and then swing this leg. People would have been getting it wrong just by watching it firsthand, not knowing. I remember when people were starting to try and do the backspin and people would kick around thinking that's how you do it. And that was all wrong. And it's not until you had a video watching it, rewind it, slow it down, that's how they do it.
But don't get me wrong though, that kick round backspin now, men have learned that and made it into a wicked move now, so you know, but at the time though, that's what we saw was the quickest way to get into a backspin. Tony, like we said, Tony Hudson gave us that technique there.
He gave us that technique, man. He was technical. He was a technician in the crew.
Hip hop, that's reality. Got cars, cribs, contracts, and salaries. Hip hop, that's reality. Got cars, cribs, contracts, and salaries.
Do you think breaking will ever fade out, and why?
No, because it's fun to do. It's done in a camaraderie style, and different strengths of your co-pilots, if you like. I don't think it would die. If anything, I think it will get better and more advanced.
I think it's too powerful. It's too powerful to fade out. I mean, it faded for a little bit over here. You know, it virtually disappeared over here for a while.
I think, as I say, because there was capoeira first. There's no argument about that. Capoeira is definitely first. The Brazilian, African dance. So all the elements of capoeira develop into this breakdancing now, and how breakdancing is developed now with the what they're doing now. I think there will always be something like breakdancing. Always be a gymnastics person who's doing some creativity with their body.
Yeah, but then there was a resurgence. You know, the music, the dance, the energy of it. You know, sometimes the energy when I was dancing, it was back in the day. It was palpable. You could feel the energy. It's like you don't want to sleep too long. You just want to be up and out. You want to be dancing. You want to hear the music. You want to see the art. You want to be right there in the culture of it. And it was a powerful thing. So you know, some with a force like that, it's unstoppable really. Even though it's developed in a way, you know, it's not really pleasing to me. I like seeing the original moves still practiced and performed. You know, like Foundation, all this stuff where the man is doing 1990 for how many minutes and stuff like that. I just prefer keep it sharp and swift and stylish as possible.
No. I don't think breaking will fade out, never, man. Let me tell you,
because it's the expression, innit? Yeah.
That's right.
You go, man.
I mean,
well, it's the hip hop culture, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a body. It's a
culture.
Yes.
Listen, man. I mean, this body is on the floor, man, and you're wheeling and dealing, and you're flipping around, man. You know what I mean? What else a body that can do more active than breaking? Forget gymnastics. I mean, gymnasts even take moves from breaking, and they add it into their vocabulary because what they do, they repeat, and they're pissed off. You understand what I'm saying? Breaking would never ever die out. One of the reasons why even like in PlayStations and all these kind of Xbox games and all that, you see like Crazy Legs and all them other guys, they're on videos and all that, like animated and all that. When I used to come down here 4 or 5 years ago to practice breaking in the basketball courts, I used to hit down by myself, and I used to have kids all around me. I mean, you might play around with joysticks and breaking and all that, but when you see the real shit, and when you're doing it real there, you get audience, a platform of audience around you. I mean, in Turnpike Lane, you only see that in the TV or movies. If you see that in Turnpike Lane, it's different.
It's a real
in West
expression.
End, it's different. Everyone sees that shit in West End, but in Turnpike Lane, you know what I mean? Look at all these cats out here. If I hit down there right now, right, all these cats will be distracted of what they're doing. You know why? Because what they're seeing is real. Here, it's not. These cats are watching MTV Base, these brick ones, and they come down here with their basketball and exercising this. Yo, pass the ball, pass the ball. They change the accent frequently. That's no good. But when they see me sweating on the floor, they feel so embarrassed and they shift out. Because they're not practicing. They're there to just boast to each other. They're wearing up jerseys like, you know what I mean? I don't mind, man, like Americans and all that, but we can be ourselves, man, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We gotta be ourselves. We've got no choice.
Yeah, that's right.
No. There'll always be space for breaking and popping. There'll always be space. The moves may change and, you know, the grooves will change. Like now I'm into house music, deep house music. And even there, right in the middle of the raves, you still see a guy who will just let go of pop or a break and you just think, yay. Firstly, I know your age group. And secondly, yeah, they ain't never gonna stop, ever. But just, you know, it will adapt, it will change. It won't be just the purest form, I don't think. I think you have to add a lot more street dance to it now.
Ooh, probably not, because it's a form of street dance and it's an art as well. I don't think it'll ever fade out. It will just improve, it will get better and more difficult as well with time. Because just as I was coming out of it, they were doing stuff like, what do you call that move, Carl? Well, they do it in gymnastics, yeah, flares and things like that. That was, you know, I couldn't do the flares, I wasn't that good. But yeah, it's all them sort of things that they do today, and yeah, I really rate all that stuff.
Okay, well, I think the thing is, it's a part of another street culture. So I guess it depends on where the street cultures are going, because I would have, to be honest, I wouldn't have expected, not so much when I think of things, some of street crazes such as roller skating and skateboarding, they're still there today. And I'm glad to see the younger generation still continuing in these activities. With street dance, breakdancing, I don't think, it doesn't look like it's going to end too soon.
No, it ain't going to end.
I don't think it is.
No.
Because with what's going on with these young people and the changes that are taking place, and for some of the videos that I've seen and what they're doing now and the level that they're taking breakdancing to now, I'm like, wow, they're taking it to another level, what they're doing.
I'm telling
so
you.
it's great, it's impressive.
Yeah.
It just goes to show there's no limits.
Yeah.
They're going to keep going.
You know what, personally, there was one move that I was trying to practice called the 99. And it's like, it was sort of like in the late 80s where we sort of like, when that move came in, and it's like, I tried to conquer this move and I couldn't do it. And to me, personally, deep down, I was thinking, Rans, it looks like your breaking days are up, because if you can't keep up with the moves, you're gonna be falling back and falling behind, you know? But people that can sort of like dance and keep up with the moves, for them it won't fade. It won't fade. I mean, if I remember rightly, one of the Breakazoid's brothers, I can't remember his name. He reminded me of Bob Marley. Though. But I'm sure Warren. I'm sure he sort of like got a sort of like a small little career from that, and good for him, man, because he was breakdancing for a while. But yeah, it depends on you. I mean, breakdancing is still there, but it's not as strong and out there as it was in our day, you know.
They're going to keep going, and now it's worldwide.
Yeah, it's made this smart now. It's made this smart now.
It's definitely made it smart
now. You know,
so
it's in the history books now.
It's interesting to see where it's going to go.
Look at Crazy Legs, how far Crazy Legs has gone now. Representative and speeches and lecture. It's in the culture now. It's ingrained in history now.
Yeah.
You know? And like them youths ain't letting it go, man. I'm telling you, taking it to another level. Tell you, I've been watching this game for a long time, and what I'm seeing now today, even I'm shocked. I'm like glad I don't have to do it. Serious. Hard work.
Yeah, it is. It is.
You have to get right. Like I said, you have to break something. Now you have to give up something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as you said earlier on as well, because of the age as well.
Yeah.
When you was younger, if breaking came in earlier than when you actually started, I think we would be at that level of what they are today. And we would be doing all that stuff. So again, it's just that pattern of what I'm saying. It's been ingrained in history, and that's development stages.
That's what it is. It's progress. You see,
that's simple as that.
We came in the early stages. That's progress, you know. That's progress, man.
But that's the beauty, because talking to you guys and Jedis or whatever, blah blah blah, we'll get onto as well later. Is you guys were the pioneers to actually bring this into North London and allow the people of North London, in that certain sense, to actually know about it.
Yeah.
So then, because you guys mainly had the breaking and popping as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You had Jedis mainly breaking, the street rockers popping. So it was like Jedis and street rockers, if they merged together, that would have formed your group.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
But
how do you feel about kind of like bringing that forward to the younger generation?
Well, like we said, when we were doing it, we didn't really think that what we was doing. It was just something we liked and something we just got into. And then, like we said as well, we used to club dance as well. We used to meet up on a Friday, go electric ballroom, and we used to just get our boogie on like this. So when now like breaking, body bopping started to come into the clubs, we just formed a group, and and then the thing is, I live on Uplands Road, so I was in the middle. So Chettle Court was at the top, and the Jedis were at the bottom of the road there. So like they were a bit younger than us as well. So the Jedis, and they had a lot of the martial arts influence as well. They were on it hard. I think some of them were even talking Cantonese and walking around with chopsticks. Love Jedis.
Yeah, they were heavy Jedis. Much love for Jedi crew, man.
So they had that kind of background as well. And then as well, when it did come to England, everybody was on it. I mean, not only our neighbourhood, but we're glad that like people look up to us and give us that big up for bringing it to the neighbourhood and that as well. But what it is just that we were in the clubs, and that was the next trend, the next thing coming in. And like us, we just moved with the times. Yeah, so it's good to hear other people giving us shout outs. Enough love back.
Yeah.
It would never break. It would never fade out. You know, it's one of them things that's always going to be like in music videos. You'll have a flash of it. It's good for people to see that people are taking it forward now. I saw this Japanese guys with like a little show battle what they were doing, and I swear the moves that they're doing nowadays, it's amazing. I think it's still going on in a very big way. In America. It's going on still, so yeah, I don't think it would ever fade out all the way. You still see people doing adverts where they got like head spinners and stuff. I saw this little, you know, the one with the little girl, and she's only 5 or something, but she's break dancing on a personal advert, something like that. I think it'll always be used for the advertisement and in the media, certainly in the media. So it won't fade out. I don't think it will fade out, no.
Do you feel to teach breaking to others one day? Or did you?
No.
Well, I think my time has passed because, you know, I did start back in 92 for a while, but it just didn't feel the same, you know. I suppose you say, oh, you can't depend on other people, but it didn't feel the same for me. So I didn't really continue it too long after that.
No, not really, because I was too busy having fun myself and learning off others.
Not at the moment. I can advise people, and I could do maybe an exhibition. But as breaking is that you can teach anybody anything, but the student has to take what you're showing them. The 90% of it is the individual going home and practicing it themselves. I can be the brilliant is breakdancing, but if the student's not willing to do his side of it, it won't work. I can show you the technique, but physically you have to get up every morning and do it yourself. No computer is going to do it for you. I'm afraid it's just the reality of this. It's very physical. Anything that's physical, you have to do it yourself. If it's singing, playing the guitar, riding a bike, you have 90% of it. You have to do it yourself.
Oh yeah, man. I used to teach down Southgate College. I taught breaking in Southgate College for 6 months with no charge of fee. Every time I finished work, right, I used to hit down there with a bus. This was 8-9 years ago, and I had to stop. Reason why? Because it was kind of like in the evenings, and I had like most of my students were youth between the ages like 8, 9, 10, 11s, 12s. I couldn't keep them hanging around by themselves, so I had to dust it out. You know what I mean? So, but I still got plans. I mean, I got plans to come over here. You know what I mean? Try and get a little audience and all that. And build up something, you know what I mean? I'm only across the road. My business is just across the road, and the park is here. It's all good, you know what I mean? I'm nifty, but I could take a 16-year-old kid out of my pocket on the dance floor.
I wouldn't be good at teaching it. I haven't practiced it for ages, and it's not my heart center anymore. Back then, that was my passion, my full-on passion. But I've moved on. I'm a little more mature now, a little wiser. See the way I divert older there though, right? But yeah. But you know, I love to see people teach it though, that's for sure. And wherever I can help, I will always help. I'll always have a heart for that.
Yeah, I'd love to teach breakdancing, but I'm getting on now. You know, if you'd asked me that question 10, 20 years ago, I would have said definitely yes. But today, probably not. Due to, you know, age, and yeah, back problems.
For me, to be honest, I think I've missed that opportunity. For me personally, and not just that, it's certain changes that's happening in my life now, and certain where I am now. I wouldn't say I wouldn't have that time to do that now, but I do think when it comes to the area, when it comes to like breakdancing and competitions, I do think there should be an opportunity for some of the pioneers of breakdancing in the UK. They should be involved in some form of fashion, if they so chose, to be judges in competitions as such, because it's not just the fact that they were there at the very beginning in this country. It's just that they've got the understanding and the experience of breaking. And that's why they would make brilliant judges when it comes to watching what's going on with the up and coming younger generation. That's my take on it anyway.
The thing is, if that was said to me back in the day, then yeah, we would have taught. But we were so hooked and so sort of like focused on our own crew and our own sort of like surroundings. There weren't no time to train anybody else. I mean, when we had people coming in, we were sort of like doing like forms, like routines, and obviously we'd have to train them to do a certain move so they can sort of like correspond with our moves as well. But now I tried to sort of like do some breakdancing with my girls back in the day, and it's like they're saying, "Dad, stop it! It's embarrassing, you know, stop it." But no, I wouldn't train.
Well, not me. I mean, you know, you can learn it. It's good. It's just like another form of dance. It's like ballerina. It's like jazz dancing. It's like contemporary dancing. It's the same thing, but it's just a different vein, a different genre. Different music and a different attitude, you know, is what breakdancing is. But as in for teaching, no, I'd rather teach music. I'm a musician. I always have been, even when I was breaking. I was playing guitar, but I mean, yeah, it can be taught. It could be taught, but I myself now, I'm at the age where, boy, I don't know, I think, you know. But age is good in terms of experience, and experienced people can teach it. I mean, guys like one of the guys from Breakdance, the Warren, and guys like him, Hallett, them guys, they could teach, I reckon, because they are still, they will always have been good to show other people how to do things, and the people can learn from them. So yeah, it can be taught, but me, no, I don't want to teach it.
All right, like, would I be teaching? Well, I've been teaching quite a lot. For me, so I was in the Breakazoids and then went to an audition and got picked to go to Europe. So I've been traveling around Europe, and while there as well, we had to do like workshops and teach people. Everyone wanted to learn this new breaking. So from then I've been teaching a lot. Schools in, even in England as well, coming back as well from abroad. I've been teaching there as well, but the last couple of years now I've just taken a little break from it. I can only teach so much, you know. But I love to go back and teach again. But I'm a danger to myself. I see that shiny floor, I can't hold back. So I'm getting psychiatric help at the moment.
That's deep. That's deep.
In order not to go there. But no, I love teaching, man. I love to teach, man. I've always been teaching. Okay. You know, spread the message, man. Spread the love.
I used to say, if anybody's thinking of doing the breakdancing, do what you want to do as a breakdancer. It's always important to be yourself, create your own stuff. If there's a lot of power moves out there, but if you can find your own avenue and practice what you know, you can still hold your own space.
Who or what inspired you to do this?
What inspired me to do this was, what, breaking, yeah? Breaking, yeah? You see, us cats, we was born in an era, us lot, we was born in an era that you can't buy or sell, man. The age of 12, 13, I was involved in like Atari games, feeling that I mastered them as well. And when I jumped into martial arts, we used to collect posters. Not only that, we was doing it and all that, man. There's more to this, man.
That's right.
We used to collect big posters and photographs of them. We used to price them out the back and we used to exchange and sell them. You know what I mean? We kept our like black and white weekly flyers as well. I mean, someone who does these things, right, he's really poking, he's poking the core of the game. You understand what I'm saying? He's poking the core of the game. It's like another Biggie or a Park or a Pun. Yeah. You know what I mean? Why I'm saying this is because these guys were talented. Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? They went more beyond the. What inspired me to start breaking was when Wayne Jervis said to me, there's a film called Flashdance, and when I went down there, you know what I mean? And I was good in martial arts anyway. I love doing martial arts, and it's not just you're not just doing martial arts. You have to go late night. You have to watch certain movies as well. We used to exchange videotapes. We used to talk about it, and there was ways of talking about it. You know what I mean? That was even talent and art. We resembled that into hip hop. And when I saw that film, and then after the school holidays, when I went back to school, man, everyone was either breaking and popping, and I went, man, this is me.
It's a whole heap of elements coming together.
Is me. I was happy. I was happy that there was a new thing in the era. There was new thing, because certain things in this country, like every 2 years, every 3 years, fashion comes and goes, man. You know what I mean? This is a fast-moving country. But I never doubted that breaking would finish, because the moves are infinity, man. You know what I mean? You can create so much moves. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
and what's good is
out there is
we got the same style, right? But we got different flavors. You know, the flow of the movement of what we do is different. Park's flow and Biggie's flow is different, isn't it? It's what you like. You know what I mean? Instincts will tell you which side to be on. You understand what I'm saying? I ain't this in Park. I love Park. But I feel Biggie, man. You know what I mean? That fat Albert look, that jokey thing. You know what I mean? That's creativity. I poked it, man, and that's how it is. I mean, Flashdance inspired me, and when I went back to school, I found out all my friends was doing it. They inspired me as well, you know what I mean?
Would you put it down as an aggressive dance or a graceful dance?
From the individual, if you're inside the field, it looks aggressive, because the moves are very fightable, because they have a standoff in it. One side's on the other side and your side is over here side, and a person hits the break, hits the floor, doing the best he can, and if the crowd likes it, the crowd cheers. But if there's no if there's no crowd, your crew knows he's just done a killer move. So again, you could say yes, it looks very, very intimidating if you haven't seen it for the first time.
So do you do any other forms of dancing?
Right now, two-step. That's what I do now, and some cool steps. You know, when I go wine by, which is not often. If I go out, I like to dance. Yeah, I can't stand up in one corner and not dance. If I go out, I have to dance. Yeah.
The video tape part with the exchange, we was one of the first people to have the film Wild Star over here, because one of our members, when we were 15, his father lived in Germany, and they showed Wild Star in Germany before they showed it here. So he got hold of a copy of it, and we watched that religiously. You know, that was our first film, and that had a huge impression on us, even to how we wanted to dance. We really stuck to foundation moves, because that's what we saw in Wild Star. A lot of footwork, freezes, backspin, stylish top rocks and stuff like that, you know. We didn't really depend on just windmills and a lot of the other moves that a lot of people depended on at that time.
What year did you start breaking?
Oh, wow.
Sugar, but I kind of remember that.
You've got to dig deep now. All right, so I know I stayed in the sixth form.
Yeah.
So, no, but then we had started, that's when we first was influenced by, like you said, Shalimar,
Jeffrey Daniel.
Because when we were clubbing, we was going electric ballroom, I remember that brother, if I can remember his name, his watch.
I know.
The brother with the white gloves, and he was doing robot first, electric ballroom. And it was the electric, like the moonwalk, when we started seeing him doing the moonwalk.
Yeah. He was the
early,
from sidewalk. Dennis. And
but we saw
Foster.
Dennis and them like later. That's a bit later I saw Dennis and them.
Is it? Okay then.
Because I saw that brother that was on the gloves doing the robot, and that's when I saw Duke Booty then. Duke Booty. Doing the robot, early days.
Sugar, yeah, see? So it just came into the club, didn't it?
It just came in. So then, and that was when we started, my friend from the States, Tony, came up from the States with the video of, when is that, Buffalo? When was that?
Yeah, Buffalo
That's
Girls.
early 80s.
Yeah.
So now, because this is the end of school, I went into the sixth form, so you're talking about 83, 84 now.
Yeah, no, 82 something, I'm telling you.
82, because 82 was still at Highgate. Well, that's the last year, second year of school.
Okay then.
Yeah, 82.
Yeah, so just
it's
after
around there.
school, yeah.
So it's around them. Okay. And that was when it started.
I can't remember the exact year, but it must have been around the 80s, early 80s, 82, 83, something like that, you know? Just sort of like, just in the mid-times where we were sort of like in the martial arts. I can't stop mentioning the martial, because martial arts has always been there. Do you know what I mean? It's been there from day one, do you know what I mean? So the only thing sort of like, when I remember sort of like breaking, I got to sort of like go right back into my file, into my brain and think, all right, I did martial art then. And then obviously from there, works out to be the year. But yeah, it's about early 80s.
Wow, let me see now. I think it was the late 80s. If I rightly remember, yeah, the late 80s.
And what about the body popping?
The body popping was about 79, 81 time. So I had about 6 years of that before I got on the lino and the wooden dance floor.
That's a good one. What year? What year did we start? Because I don't know. It was in the time. Do you know the same year Malcolm McLaren came out with that hit, Buffalo Girls or something it was called? We all went crazy then. So whatever year that was, when Malcolm McLaren, I can't remember shit, Carl.
I started in 1982, but my inspiration started from 1976.
Right, but that's what I was going to ask. Who or what inspired you to do this?
Yeah, I can't remember, but I think it was about 80, I'd say about 85 or 84 or 83 even. I mean, it came in slowly, but when it came in, it really blasted off big time. Do you know what I mean?
The body popping was Jeffrey Daniels out of Shalimar. when he was on ITV, a program called The Soul Train, and the breakdancing, the Rocksteady crew, when they first came to the UK.
Wicked. So what inspired you about Jeffrey Daniels in the body popping back then? What made you want to get into it and have a passion for it?
Because Soul Train was about the soul clubs. So I thought, I could take this into the Bumbles Club, or I could take this down to the Crackers Club. And I could deliver it in such a way that he was on Soul Train, and it would make me look different and inspire other people. The breakdancing, I didn't see it anywhere until I saw these guys come to, it was a Saturday morning show where when we was kids, we used to be indoors and sit down and watch the Saturday morning shows on TV. I can't remember the name of the show, but they came there, and after seeing that, I think breakdancing blew up countrywide. Everyone wanted to learn.
Well, when I was younger, I think it was 1976, I saw an advert that was advertised in Game of Death. By this time, Bruce Lee had already died in 1973. So when they released it, there was all different actors. They changed the ending. Of course, Bruce Lee filmed the fight scenes before he died because he stopped filming Game of Death and went on to make Enter the Dragon. So a lot of the bits, they added all new fight scenes. So there's Game of Death and there's Tower of Death. It's basically the same film, but there's so much different added extra fight scenes. Anyway, there's a scene where a Bruce Lee stunt double somersaulted off of a crate. And when I first saw that, it was the first time I see anybody do a somersault. I said, I want to do that.
Yeah, Mark Anderson and Franklin Riley really inspired me to do it. At least the body popping side of it. By watching them, that's where I got my first idea that that was something I wanted to do.
I just, with my young little self, I wasn't gonna flip myself in the air and hurt myself. So I just did a lot of like egg rolls, head rolls, you know, inside the house, and then go out in the garden or in the field and just continue doing it. And then I started seeing gymnastics. I started like watching Olga Korbut, Nadia Comaneci, and their floor routines. You know, it comes across a bit like b-boying in a way. You know, they show their agility, their personal style, and it just progressed from there. And then after I started getting interested in Kung Fu, and I saw Jackie Chan in Cannonball Run, and then he come out with Big Brawl, and they showed a combination of Kung Fu and acrobatics. So that's why I dived into the acrobatics and the Kung Fu at the same time.
It was actually the videos that we saw. The first video that we actually saw, I think Clark showed me this video about breaking, and it's like you know, from there it sort of like it stuck to my mind, and it sort of like branched off from there. Do you know what I mean? That first thing that inspires you. If it's something that you really like and you really love and you know that you can adapt to that, it's rooted. And from once you actually start, you know, putting things to it and sort of like creating stuff from it and sort of like building up on it, it grows. Do you know what I mean? So I would say it would have been a video or a clip of some sort of like form of breakdancing that inspired me doing that.
I think it was when I first saw the first breaking video. So I'm trying to remember which was the first. I don't think it's Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo Girls.
I think it was Buffalo. Right. I think it was.
Then what took it to another level? All right, so like Buffalo Girls inspired us, but what really took it to another level, if you remember this, was when Rocksteady was coming to England.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Earl's Court.
Yeah.
And then now you've been watching it on video and everything.
Yeah,
now
no,
you're going to see it live.
Yeah,
now
that was
you're going to
slightly
see
late.
it
When
live in
Rocksteady
your
Crew
front.
came on,
Oh man, that was
at
it.
Olympia.
Right.
At Olympia.
Yeah.
No, I remember.
So we've been watching them on videos and
Yeah.
watching this breakdancing and body bopping. Now you're going to watch them live. I'm telling you, that was the day, man.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then after seeing it live, and I mean, you got people from all over England come to that place,
Yeah,
and
they
it's
did.
south, east, west, everyone.
Yeah.
But after seeing it live, that's what took it to another
Yeah.
level. You know, after people saw it in their face.
That did blow it up. That definitely.
Blew it up, yeah.
Who? I suppose, you know, watching crews like the Rocksteady crew and various other American breakdance crews, yeah, they inspired us. We wanted to be like them and and we were pretty much so in our own right.
I would say Rocksteady crew. Rocksteady, New York City Breakers, Dynamic Rockers, and there was a lot of other individuals around at that time. There was one guy called Freddie Fresh. I can't remember, it was so long ago, but there was so many other individuals, you know. There was a lot of people who got maybe their little 5 minutes of fame, and that was caught on video, and you know, somebody else taped it and they got it and they made a compilation. So, you know, these tapes would come over to us and you get to see all these individual people.
That event did burn, because at that event, you'd have got the people that had known about breaking, that was into it, that had started themselves, may have had the footwork down, may have started learning a few little crazy leg moves and swipes, didn't quite master the windmills by then, but they saw the Rocksteady crew, at Olympia in Earls Court. So that would have brought a lot of the crews there at that one event. Because I'm sure not Floor Masters, Zulu Rockers would have attended, Sidewalk crew would have attended. So like, yeah, the main crews in London, because Jedi crew, I'm sure they would have gone. They were there. So you had, from what I can remember, in London, I'm not saying there were other crews, like you said, like Street Rockers and that. You had other crews, but the main crews that I knew of at that time were, you had the Sidewalk, you had us who were Breakazoid, you had Zulu Rockers, you had the Jedi crew, and like you said, the Street Rockers. There are other crews, but those were the main crew that we knew of.
Because they were home base.
They were based, they're home base. So on the other side of the river, you had
south.
You had the Floor Masters. I know that's where Billy came from. DJ Business. So Floor Masters, then he left there and then set up. Then they set up
the Hackney Boys, Zulu Rockers.
Zulu Rockers, yeah.
Yeah. So, but that was a day that opened up everybody's eyes, seeing it live in front of us. So that was a good experience. I can't remember what year that was though, but that was a big event.
Those were the earliest days. Those were the days where some of the new cats that came up, that claimed to be real old school, they weren't there. Don't need to say no names, they just weren't there. So I leave it on that note.
I don't know, I think the first person was like Derek. Me and Derek used to get certain shows where he'd go and dance in a club and stuff and pop in a club. And one time I went with him to a club and we was doing body popping and stuff. So I think, Derek, Franklin, Paul, them guys, because we all lived on the same road. And I think them guys influenced yourself. Remember when we used to bust, we do dancing from time before that, because we bust Michael Jackson and Thriller in McDonald's and brought the place down in Wood Green there, man. Everyone was after us. But no, I mean, we got into it. We'd really get into it, and it was some good times then.
So did you get involved with any battles or any competitions?
Yes, we...
And explain the word battle as well.
I'd say the battle and... battle and a crew is two sides coming together, showing off the best that they can do. If one guy does... if your crew does a footwork and he comes out and goes back to his crew, your crew will have to do a footwork, maybe into a backspin and maybe into a pop out. So it's continuous, try to top each other. More finesse, more style, and who's got the better moves at the end of the day.
So did you and your crew get into quite a few battles?
As I said, we had a lot of battles for these crews in the West End. We had a lot of competitions from our side of the pond. So we was very active. We was a very active crew.
So who was the hardest crew you kind of like battled or?
You know, there's a group called Live to Break, London All Stars. I think they're from South London. They were a crew, a force, because they got into it the same time as we got into it. They knew Beat Street, they knew Malcolm McLaren, they knew Puma suedes, they knew Goose jackets, just like us. So they were always, we was always their rivalry with them.
Gold chain round your neck.